Compose numbers with models. This video is produced by Math GPS for Texas second graders, but it can also correspond to Common Core standards in second grade as well. Compose means to put together or build. We can build numbers by using base 10 blocks, place value disks, and or picture models to represent thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. Problem 1. The average mass of a male tiger is 227 kilograms. How do we build this number using base 10 blocks? We need 2 of the hundreds, sometimes we call those flats, 2 of the tens, we call those strips, and 7 of the unit cubes. To find the value of the hundreds, tens, and ones, we can skip count. To find the value of the hundred, count by 100. Count with me. 100, 200. The value of the flats is 200. To find the value of the tens, skip count by 10. Count with me. 10, 20. The value of the strips is 20. To find the value of the ones, we would skip count by ones. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The value of the unit cubes is 7. To compose this number, we take the sum of the values. 200 plus 20 plus 7 equals 227. The average mass of a male tiger is 227 kilograms. A place value chart is a tool we can use to model and write numbers. Each column in the place value chart shows how many hundreds, how many tens, and how many ones are needed to represent the average mass of the male tiger. There are 2 hundreds, 2 tens, and 7 ones. We use only the digits 2, 2, and 7 to compose and write the number 227 in standard form. The average mass of the male tiger is 227 kilograms. Problem 2. Margaret and Samuel sold 653 tubs of popcorn at the soccer tournament. How can we build this number using base 10 blocks? We need 6 of the hundreds, or flats. We need 5 of the tens, or strips, and 3 of the unit cubes. To find the value of the hundreds, tens, and ones, we skip count. Let's count by 100s first. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. The value of the flats is 600. For the value of the strips, let's skip count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The value of the strips is 50. For the value of the unit cubes, let's count by 1. Count with me. 1, 2, 3. The value of the unit cubes is 3. To compose this number, we take the sum of those values. 600 plus 50 plus 3. That equals 653. Margaret and Samuel sold 653 tubs of popcorn at the soccer tournament. A place value chart is a tool we can use to model and write these numbers. Each column in the place value chart shows how many hundreds, tens, and ones are needed to represent the tubs of popcorn. We need 6 of the hundreds, 5 of the tens, and 3 of the ones. We use only the digits 6, 5, and 3 to compose and write the number 653 in standard form. Margaret and Samuel sold 653 bags of popcorn at the soccer tournament. Problem 3. Ricardo used base 10 pictures to show how many baseball cards are in his collection. How many cards are in the collection? How many thousands cubes did Ricardo use? He used 1 thousands cube. How many tens strips did Ricardo use? He used 12 of the tens strips. How many unit cubes did Ricardo use? He used 4 of the ones. The value of 1,000 cubed is 1,000. To find the value of the tens, we would skip count by 10. Count with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 110, 120. The value of the tens is 120. There were enough tens that we could make a trade for a hundreds flat. To find the number of ones, let's count by 1. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. The value of ones is 4. To compose this number, we take the sum of all the values. 1,000 plus 120 plus 4. Ricardo has 1,124 baseball cards. Let's look at this in a place value chart. We have 12 tens, a value of 120. The circled group of 10 tens is the same as 100. So if we trade, we will be left with 1 of the thousands, 1 of the hundreds, 2 of the tens, and 4 of the ones. We use only the digits 1, 1, 2, and 4 to compose and write the number 1,124 in standard form. Ricardo has 1,124 baseball cards in his collection. Problem 4. Rockford Elementary collected 836 food items for the San Antonio Food Bank. How can we model this amount using place value discs? We need 8 of the hundreds discs, 3 of the tens discs, and 6 of the ones discs. If we count by 100s, the value of 800 discs is 800. If we count by tens, the value of 3 tens discs equals 30. If we count by ones, the value of 6 ones discs equals 6. To compose this number, we take the sum of all the values, 800 plus 30 plus 6. Rockford Elementary collected 836 food items for the San Antonio Food Bank. Now let's look at the place value chart. Each column shows how many hundreds, tens, and ones are needed to represent the collected food items. 8 of the hundreds, 3 of the tens, and 6 of the ones. We use only the digits 8, 3, and 6 to compose and write the number 836 in standard form. Rockford Elementary collected 836 food items for the San Antonio Food Bank. Problem 5. Carlos Pancake House sold 144 cups of coffee, which is the same amount as 1,152 ounces of coffee. How can we model this amount using place value discs? We would use 11 of the hundreds discs, 5 of the tens discs, and 2 of the ones discs. To find the value of the hundreds, we would skip count by 100. Count with me. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100. The value of the hundreds is 1,100. 1,100 is the same as 1,100. To get the value of the tens, we would skip count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The value of the tens is 50. For the value of the ones, we would count by ones. 1, 2. The value of ones is 2. To compose this number, we take the values of the sums and we add those. 1,100 plus 50 plus 2 equals 1,152. Carlos Pancake House sold 1,152 ounces of coffee. Now let's look at it in a place value chart. The place value chart shows 11 hundredths, a value of 1,100. The circled group of 10 hundredths discs can be traded for one of the thousands discs. That will leave us one of the thousands, one of the hundreds, 5 tens, and 2 ones. We use only the digits 1, 1, 5, and 2 to compose and write the number. Carlos Pancake House sold 1,152 ounces of coffee. Problem 6. 571 people participated in a walkathon to raise money for the animal shelter. How can we model this amount using a quick drawing? Sketch 5 squares to represent 5 flats. Sketch 7 line segments to represent 7 tens. Sketch a small dot to represent 1 unit. Skip count to find the value of each group. 5 flats have a value of 500. 7 line segments have a value of 70. 1 small circle has a value of 1. To compose this number, we take the sum of all the values, 500 plus 70 plus 1. 571 people participated in the walkathon. The place value chart is used to model numbers pictorially and write numbers using digits. Each column in the place value chart shows how many hundreds, tens, and ones are needed to represent the walkathon participants. There are 5 of the hundreds, 7 tens, and 1 one. We use only the digits 5, 7, and 1 to compose and write the number 571 in standard form. 571 people participated in the walkathon. Texas second graders must compose or build numbers using models. This movie file may be downloaded from the Math GPS website. Thanks for watching.